Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bug. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers and we are literally less than 1,000 at this point. A little less than 800 in fact. So if you're new, subscribe. But today's video, I'm just going to address what we're talking about right off of the top because I'd rather end it nicely when talking about the actual good stuff of this game. But we have to talk about Draymond Green and the complete BS that he pulled off against Sabonis. I'm gonna give you a bunch of caveats right now to make you hopefully less angry at me in the comment section because I know it's inevitable, but let me just throw it out there. Generally a fan of Draymond Green, generally not someone who complains about plays like this or quote-unquote dirty plays. Generally not someone who complains about people getting huffy and puffy, like that's what I like to call it when they're like fake tough. I don't really care all the time. Obviously, if someone pulls off some injury bullshit though, like, and genuinely risks someone's health over petty crap, I get a little annoyed with it. And what Draymond Green did today, to me, completely went too far. And I'm just gonna also say, I realize that this is something that is up to others' interpretation, and I would understand if you viewed it as Sabonis grabbed Draymond's leg, therefore Draymond, viewing that as a hostile act, retaliated with a hostile act of his own. I believe that Draymond's hostile act was far more significantly bad than whatever Sabonis you maybe believe did, but from what I can tell, every time I look at this footage, it looks like Sabonis fell, hit his head, goes to grab his head out of pain, and Draymond's leg was very unfortunately wrapped up in the process. Draymond's leg was just there. He didn't touch it. He went to grab his head. Draymond's leg was here. And it went that way. And maybe I wouldn't even be really that mad if Draymond did that, realized that it wasn't hostile from Sabonis, and then wasn't a complete tool about it to the entire Sacramento crowd as the Warriors then proceed to lose. Just, you know, putting that out there. This wasn't some big rally thing that resulted in the Warriors winning. They still ended up losing and now potentially face losing in the first round after being a championship team last year. But the way that Draymond acted afterwards made it all the worse. He didn't seem even remotely sorry to have done something that frankly could have seriously hurt Sabonis. Stepping on someone's ribs, not stepping, rather stomping is the word I'm going to be sure to use here because there is a difference between Draymond unfortunately putting his foot down and Sabonis was in the way versus he very deliberately increased the amount of force that he was putting into his foot as he was going down. What Draymond did could have broken Sabonis's ribs, like for real. It was very dangerous, and the fact that all that it resulted in was Sabonis just getting the wind knocked out of him, good. Like, that's the best case scenario, frankly. I don't want to focus on these negative things. I don't like them being the headliner. I'm cool with the fact it's going to get the video views, but this isn't the side of the game that I like, and I don't want to talk about it. But when some bullshit like this happens, I have to. And if you don't think what Draymond did was wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to strongly disagree on that one. I'm generally a fan of Draymond Green, but I am also not going to sit here and pretend like he does not push shit too far very often, and this was yet another example of him doing so. And what he was doing after was not only just lame in that he was being so unapologetic about it, but also just lame, and like he was being a fucking dork, man. I don't know, there's no other way to put it. Like getting the crowd riled up because they're mad at you for basically assaulting somebody. Yeah, man, what do you want them to do? And then to lose after, I just appreciate the humor in that at the very least. But God, he just came off like a fucking prick, and there's no other way for me to put it. There just isn't. I would be being disingenuous and lying to you if I said that I was interpreting it any other way. Anywho, let's talk about basketball now, because this was otherwise yet another good game in what many of us, including me, have been saying should be the best series in the entire of this year's playoffs. By the way, I'm not going to be talking about Nets Sixers probably at all. I watched the games, but what's there to talk about? The Nets were up at halftime, which was cool. but didn't go anywhere. Anywho, this game was similar in energy, but a little bit different in output for this one. For the Sacramento Kings, it was less De'Aaron Fox, more Domantas Sabonis, whereas in game one, De'Aaron went off for sure. I almost died there. What the hell was that? And Domantas Sabonis really struggled from the field. I think he got 12 points on 17 shots. But in this one, he was much, much better, and you could see how much better Sacramento's offense flows whenever Sabonis is having a good game. A lot of the shooting was working today. Kevin Huerter was huge. And I have to give an apology to Davion Mitchell, because I said in my Warriors versus Kings video that I expected him to potentially get played off of the floor and even not really play that many minutes in the series. In fact, someone in the comments was like, that's a bad take, and I doubled down and look like a fool now. But I was afraid that he would be left open very regularly and would not be able to hit the shots. And I could tell you, and I was all but certain, and it did come to be, that the Warriors would be leaving him open intentionally at times. And that exactly was the case. Where I was wrong is where the Warriors were wrong in thinking that he wouldn't knock down those shots. Not to mention, he did more as a shot creator than I really anticipated him doing. He was pretty good in game one, but he was phenomenal in this one. He finished the game with 14 points on 5 for 10 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3. Like, it's not amazing, but he hit some big shots when he needed to hit them, and he played good defense on Stephen Curry, who definitely had a less amazing night tonight. So I gotta give credit to him. De'Aaron Fox was not as bad as Sabonis was in game one, but he definitely was not the dominant, like, 38-point performance that he had in game one, which is entirely fair. 24 points on 23 shots. Did not get to the free throw line in this one, which was quite huge in his efficiency issues. And I expect him to shake it off. It's really not a big deal. He had a great game one. This doesn't even tip the scales to being a negative game. It just could have been better. On the side of the Warriors, as I previously mentioned, Stephen Curry struggled a little bit from the field, 28 points, but he shot 43% from the field, 3 for 13 from outside. Not his best day, but also, again, just like with Donovan Mitchell, still an overall positive performance by, of course. Klay Thompson, decent in this one. Andrew Wiggins, definitely, I would say, better than he was in the first one. But overall, between these two games, I'm pretty dang impressed with how solid he has been, given how long it's been since he has played basketball. And he played 39 minutes today, so he's probably just fully in the swing of things at this point. But yeah, this was a more defensive affair. The Warriors finished with 106 points, and the Kings with 114. If you recall, in game one, it was 123 to 126, so definitely some more defense being played here. And the intensity was the same that it has been, not even factoring in the Draymond thing. Sacramento's crowd just brings it, and that atmosphere just made it to where every basket felt like a huge deal. This was a relatively close battle throughout it. It did feel like Sacramento had a decent grasp of the game, a decent control of the game for a large majority of it, and more like the Warriors were trying to keep up with their pace, which is definitely the right place you want to be. A very good sign for the Sacramento Kings that they're making teams play to their pace. Not only making teams play to their pace, playing easily the most veteran and experienced roster in the entire league that is historically known for just how good they are at making teams play to their pace, making that team play to their pace. I said that term a million times now at this point, but doing so, that is the sign of a freaking contender. That is the sign of a team that you would think is far more experienced than the Sacramento Kings team is. That said, it definitely felt like the Warriors had a chance here, and Klay Thompson hit a big three to make it like a pretty damn close game late, but Sacramento ended up pulling away with it, frankly, after Draymond Green got suspended and got kicked out and made a fool of himself and got the crowd riled up and made them go on a run. So being a prick doesn't work out. That is a lesson for you, ladies and gentlemen, although I know it's like 98% gentlemen. But yeah, anyways, that is it. That is the Warriors-Kings game. This has been a great series, and I hope that this Draymond bullshit does not taint it. But yeah, that is it. Goodbye.